Hey everybody, welcome to the Power Hour of Love. I'm Charboil and this is
El Bandito.
Hey all Bandito, how are you doing tonight?
Oh man, I'm doing super awesome tonight. We're off to a little bit of a late start, but it's because we have got such an action-packed night for you guys tonight. It's our tribute to Infinity War. It's finally here. It's happening this Friday, man. We are super psyched. Our poll's coming to the end. We're picking our favorite Avenger. We're going over the history of Thanos and the Infinity Stones tonight, man. We have got so much cool stuff. And not only that, but this past weekend, we rocked it out down at the Daytona Beach Comic Con, man. And I know a lot of you guys saw our live footage out there. Thanks for checking it out. And I gotta say, we're going to talk about even more stuff during kind of the middle segment of the show today to tell you about some of the experiences we had and the cool stuff that we saw, man, because it was just that awesome. It was so cool, man. How you doing tonight, Senor Bull?
Oh man, I'm doing really good, man. You know, we actually do have a lot of great stuff planned for you guys, but we also noticed that, you know, since this whole HQ trivia thing's come out, that starting exactly at 9 doesn't always fit best into our, you know, everyone's on there trying to win money and all. We're like, hey, let's get it out of the way, and then we'll start at the Power Hour, and then we can all have some love, because, you know, we probably all, like, didn't win money, actually. You know?
Yeah, so we could use some good news and some stuff to feel cool about. So here we are getting ready to tell you guys all about it. Are you excited about the Infinity War, Senor Bull?
Oh, you know it, man. You know, like, I mean, I saw a post earlier today that said 10 years in the making, and it's so true. You know, we've been talking about it for the last couple of weeks, man, and yeah, it's very wild to think that it's here. Like you said, like I remember us talking about it, like when they first announced it, like 2 years ago, like when they had their big like kind of plan of all these movies that were coming out, and man, like when I saw like Infinity War, it was like, dude, that's gonna be awesome.
Yep.
Now, one thing that surprises me,
the gauntlet out there.
There you go, man. Absolutely. Now, one thing that surprised me is, remember it like said like Infinity War Part 1 and then like Part 2 was gonna come out? I haven't really seen much of that Part 1 stuff, so I wonder what Marvel's working in there.
Yeah, well, I mean, this movie is technically like the third Avengers movie, so it's Avengers 3. And then the fourth movie, I think, is yet unnamed. Like, they haven't given it a title yet.
Oh, okay.
So I think they're saving that for after the movie comes out, because there may be some tie-ins or spoilers to whatever the name is. Because, you know, this is such a big event. Like you said, 10 years in the making. I think I read somewhere that it's over 64 different Marvel characters all coming together in the same film for the first time. So that makes it not only the largest collaboration of in-universe characters, but the largest collaboration of in-universe characters in cinema history.
Wow.
So making milestones, man. Pretty awesome.
Absolutely, man. Like you said, and like we have some really cool stuff focusing. You know, we've been talking about all the Avengers and stuff leading up to this, but man, who are we focusing on tonight?
Well, tonight we figured we'd save the best for last, man. We were talking about your awesome California raisin, man. We're talking about Thanos out there. Now, there's a lot of mystery behind the Mad Titan as far as MCU moviegoers go, because they haven't really shown us a lot about him. I mean, we've seen a little bit of the gauntlet action and stuff like that, but, you know, it seems like he's sending out Loki with Infinity Stones to go conquer other worlds. Like, what's going on? What's his plan here? What's his motivation? We kind of don't really get it all, you know? So we thought it'd be really great for a lot of people out there who've never really delved into the comics or never really delved into these older comics, that we take a look and go back and tell you about the history of Thanos, where he came from, what his motivation is, what prompted him to get created as a character. We found out, and we're here to share it with all of you guys.
Oh, yeah, man. So why don't we get right on into it, man, because we got a lot to learn about the Mad Titan.
Let's do it.
Man, I'm gonna miss that breathing at the end of that intro.
You like that? I remember you told me, you're like, did you add that extra heavy breathing down there? No, that's just this part of that. I think it's Gamora or something in the background doing that.
Yes.
So it's pretty funny.
Well, I dig it, man.
Well, you can see we're having a very special episode tonight. We got everything golded up for the Infinity War there.
Got our Infinity Gauntlets on. They're invisible, but they're there.
It's like, what if we're wearing a ring that gives us superpowers, but it's invisible, so we don't know we have superpowers, and also we can't feel them?
And actually, yeah, you guys in the comments, let us know what you think about Infinity War. We're sure that everyone out there is super stoked, but let us know what you think's going to go down.
All right, so here's our countdown concluding tonight, coming to an end, man. Like I said, a little bit later tonight, after our Daytona Beach Comic Con segment, we're going to go over the poll results. But you guys are still free to vote right now. If you want to put in the comments who your favorite Avenger is, man, we'll add it right to the total. So keep it coming. Keep the love spreading around for the original 6 Avengers. You know, in 2012, we're going to talk a little bit later about what we kind of think might be happening with them going into this film. Throw out some little predictions and stuff, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, the Big 6, this is kind of the culmination of their story arcs, but it's being culminated by the one and only Thanos, man.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not familiar with him, this guy, right?
Definitely. He said kind of, California raisin grew up, and he's pissed.
No doubt, man. All right, so who is Thanos, right? Where did he come from? What's he all about? What's he doing? All right, so we first see Thanos in the MCU as part of his... Sorry about that. Just hit totally the wrong button over here. We see Thanos for the first time here at the end of the Avengers movie in 2012, and he's smiling after what turns out to be a very important line, right? So there's this intermediary between him and Loki. And at the end of the film, he's telling Thanos, like, Loki has failed. You know, the scepter's gone. We lost the Tesseract, all this stuff. And he's like, yeah, we totally got effed up. Our army got blown up. And he's like, apparently the Earthlings are not as weak as we would have thought. As a matter of fact, to keep messing with them is to court death herself.
Okay.
So we'll tell you the significance of that. Let that roll around in your noodle. We'll get there, right? So this is the first time we see him. All he does is look at the screen and smile, never says anything. That's him at the end of 2012, right? But let's take it back. Right? When did he first appear in comics, right?
Oh, yeah, that's what I want to find out.
Do you know this in your bowl? Or?
No, a lot of this is, of course, I've seen Thanos in cartoons and stuff before, but this is going to be a little history lesson on me, too.
All right, well, we're heading back to the Invincible Iron Man, number 55. Right, this one's dated as February 1973. I think it may have actually come out in December, though, because back then they used to have to print a few months ahead of time. But it's listed as February 1973, man. Now, there's a hero on the cover right here that you could see in the center, and he says, hey, watch out for me, I'm coming, I'm the Destroyer, right?
Oh, man.
So we're going to have a little bit of fun here, okay? If you know who the Destroyer is, who this guy is in the MCU, because he is part of it, feel free to throw it down in the comments. You know, take your guess, whatever. We'll tell you a little later who he is, right? So it's also his first appearance in this book, as well as the Blood Brothers, right? Who are kind of these two guys on the cover who are just manhandling Iron Man, right? So where did all this craziness come from, right? Where are all these cats coming from? Well, they're coming from the minds of two guys, right? This is Mike Friedrich, right? So he was the writer at the time of the Invincible Iron Man. So he's cruising through a couple of these books and all, and his friend and roommate lands a job over at Marvel, and he's kind of doing bit pieces here and there, different artwork and stuff like that, and he finally does enough work to kind of get his big shot, and they want him to pair up with his roommate and draw the stories for an Invincible Iron Man. Right?
Oh, okay.
So the artist in question here is Jim Starlin, right? Now, Jim Starlin, man, he doubled down. He was like, I'm going to draw this book. And he's like, that's fantastic. And he's like, but guess what? I got some cool ideas for some characters. I'm going to spit them out at you like right now. Right? So he talks to Mike about it. He goes to their editor at the time, Roy Thompson. He pitches him the idea. And he's like, dude, it sounds great. Go and do it, you know? So Mike's out. Jim Starlin's at home. Mike comes back. Jim's already written 3 pages of the book, and he's not the writer. He's not a writer on the book, but he's so stoked about it. He's so stoked about his character that he came up with this mad titan named Thanos, right? So it turns out that years earlier, Jim had met a girl, and she was really interested in this Freudian concept of Thanatos. Right now, this is something Sigmund Freud came up with, and it's humanity's drive for death and self-destruction. Right?
Oh, okay.
So you can imagine it's probably some hot 70s goth chick or something, and being kind of trying to want to get with the girl a little bit there and woo her a bit. He decided to do some research on the topic and ultimately thought it was really cool and would make for a really cool villain. So he started noodling around this idea in his head of having a villain named Thanos. Right, because he thought it just sounded better to say Thanos rather than Thanatos,
Thanatosis.
Yeah, it sounds like a disease.
Bad
Thanatos.
breath. That's halitosis for you guys out there.
So even before he had started at Marvel, he had been drawing up kind of plans for Thanos, and he does up and down swear that any resemblance to Jack Kirby's iconic Darkseid was completely coincidental. He hadn't been thinking of it or envisioning it. It wasn't some competition thing like a lot of people say.
That's kind of wild because I always thought that Jack Kirby had some hand in creating Thanos. So
right.
You can just see how far that's stretched.
Yeah. So the time had come, right, for Thanos to make his big debut, right? So here we are back at the Invincible Iron Man number 55. Mike loved Jim's enthusiasm for everything, and he even said, he was like, Jim showed up with these characters, and they were Marvel characters. They were fantastic. They were well fleshed out. He loved it. So he was like, tell me what you got. Show me what you got. And they put it down on the paper, man, and they came up with this awesome book where Starlin's wish, his dream for his characters to come to life totally came true, man. Starting off with Drax the Destroyer, man. You got it. James Anthony down there totally nailed it. That's who it was. A little bit different at the time. Obviously, he's wearing a cape and stuff like that, but absolutely calls himself Drax the Destroyer. What do you think of that?
That's pretty cool, man. I've heard a lot of people say that since the Guardians of the Galaxy came out that, everyone's been trying to go back and get, the first appearance of a lot of these characters, and that, their original forms were so much different. Groot was kind of like a jerk. When he could talk and stuff, and he didn't like Earthlings. So just kind of seeing this kind of goes in that same kind of way where these characters have developed into what we know today. So tell us more about this, man.
Absolutely. And again, if you're a first appearance collector, here you've got Drax the Destroyer and Thanos and the Blood Brothers all appearing for the first time in the same comic.
Oh man,
talk about a triple threat action-packed stuff.
Yeah,
right?
I got to pack a pretty penny now. We had a certain watcher out there. I'm sure he could let us know how much that one's going for, but I haven't seen him pop up in the comments yet.
So Drax is, like we said, he's a little different at the time. He actually has telekinetic power or telepathic powers, and he reaches out to Iron Man, to Tony Stark, to kind of figure out what's going on here with this guy, who, the Blood Brothers who are beating people up, because they're kind of minions of a yet unknown mastermind named Thanos.
Wow.
So these are the Blood Brothers here, right? Now, These guys aren't, from what we can tell, gonna appear in Infinity War yet. We haven't seen him in any trailers or anything like that. But as kind of his first and foremost villains, they may make an appearance. What do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know just by watching the trailers, I've seen a couple characters. I'm just kind of who the heck is that? And just being that he's bringing some sort of I don't know if they're just also Centauri or whatever, but you see these other creatures and you're kind of I wonder who those cats are.
Yeah. Now the people we see here in this scene who are kind of holding Loki hostage right there, or at bay at the very least, they're what they call the Black Order. They appear some years later in the book. Corvus Glaive, Proxima Midnight, Ebony Maw, and Black Dwarf are the four that we see on camera here. Right?
Okay. Right.
But again, there's many other members of the Order, because over the years they would betray and kill each other and stuff like this. And so the Blood Brothers may be in there somewhere as just that sort of a thing. But given all we've seen and all the countdowns that we've been doing of how similar the feature films have been, what tribute they pay to their original source material, I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow make an appearance, or if Drax somehow is the one who introduces Iron Man to Thanos, And I know in the trailer it looks a lot like Gamora, but
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see because it seems like she's kind of filling them in, at least like from most of the voiceovers. Like she's, being that she was the one that was the closest to him besides Nebula. It's like, I think she would be a good person to kind of fill, get him up to speed.
Yeah, she would know a lot about it, but I just wonder if there's going to be that little sneak in of a line where Drax says his name first or something. Just to kind of pay homage to this original book,
Absolutely.
But the original one-off story is a little loopy. It's kind of very in that Marvel cosmic wheelhouse of the story being really out there. And part of what Mike and Jim did was they told the story very like Tarantino style, where it kind of starts off with everyone in trouble and things are going down. And then they go back and tell you how Iron Man found himself in this situation with all these cosmic dudes and stuff like that. So it was told like out of sequence, which really made it very trippy,
Gotcha, man. Okay, so like you said, a little bit of a different writing style. And at this point, Thanos is still not introduced, right?
Right. He actually shows up within the first like half of the book here in this panel, right? It's the first time you see Thanos, and he's kind of got that Dr. Claw thing going on where he's not quite facing the camera and you can't really see him. But I love like the purple shadow.
Sure.
So that's very cool.
They definitely kind of went with that with the MCU, remember, because you don't really see him right off the bat. You just kind of see Loki talking to this henchman. So that, we thought that was the main bad guy, and then
and then you turn around and you see the throne, and that's where Thanos is. So very reminiscent of these original panels. Like I said, so much of it just homage to the original work, which is so cool,
Absolutely, man.
So then, bam, here is actual Thanos, full-figured, man. You can see he looks pretty much like he does today. A few exceptions here or there. He definitely looks a little more dark-sidey here,
Sure.
Than he'll come to be known later on. But here you get a full-page spread of him here, and just awesome to really see him come to life on the screen and to challenge Tony Stark. And one thing I think is really cool is he actually has this really great line in it where he says he's introducing himself, and he's like, "I am Thanos." He says, "I am Thanos the First, right? Emperor of the near-defeated Titan and soon to be Earth."
Oh, okay,
So he's saying I'm coming to take over your planet. I'm butchering that. I wrote it too small for me to read it over there.
Sure.
But it's something to that effect, right? I'm sure you could see it on the screen better than I'm saying it. But so he's basically telling Tony, I came here to take over your world. And Tony's like, "Oh man, don't stick out your boots for me to lick because I might just spit on them."
Okay.
Right, so pretty cool lines, and we've seen a lot of interaction between Thanos and Iron Man in the trailers. And I'm wondering, man, like, are they going to have some variation of the line? What do you think?
Oh, I think absolutely, like you said, especially if that was like one of his first confrontations. I mean, this scene right here, like you said, that we've seen in the trailers, like, plus, like, didn't Tony have that, like, where he, like, dreamt that, like, something bad was going to happen? Like, was that Thor? No, Tony was kind of doing that, too, right? Like, he almost had, like, a premonition.
Yeah. In Ultron, he definitely had a premonition, and that's kind of what prompted him for all of the... but that was kind of like the Scarlet Witch was sort of messing with him.
Okay.
So it wasn't really like a premonition as much as, like, his worst fears coming to light.
Sure.
And he didn't know anything about who Thanos was or anything. But Thor did have the vision when he went to see the... It's an actual Norse mythology thing of going in that pit of water with like I think it's like snakes or eels or something in it, and then it helps you like see the future, and he gets a premonition of Thanos and the Infinity Stones like getting together and all that. So
absolutely, man. Well, to answer your original question, I think they're totally going to pay, where pretty much Thanos walks up here and he's pretty much like, all right, bow to me, and like know Tony in his usual style will have something smart to say to him.
Well, originally Titan is one of the moons of Saturn, right? So we've definitely gone beyond that in the MCU as far as the scope of the universe. But I wouldn't be surprised if some variation of Titan is used to describe his homeworld, and that he would say, "I'm the emperor of such and such, probably Titan, and soon to be emperor of Earth." I think the line would be great. I'd love to hear it. So.
Absolutely, man. We'll just have to see how that goes down. But this seems like this will be his initial conflict when it comes to Earth.
No doubt. What do you guys think? Do you think the line should be in there? Do you think it's pretty cool? James Anthony, I see you down there, man. Yeah, we're definitely going to be talking about the Infinity Stones a little later tonight. So stick around, because we definitely are like 75% sure we know exactly where that other stone is already. Like, there's a lot of fan theories out there, but we think we've got the prediction of predictions that you're going to be like, oh, snap, bam. Yeah, that totally makes sense. So stick around for that. That ought to be a real fun.
Cool.
All right. So Jim Starlin goes on to feature Thanos in like every bit of work that he does, man. So it's really cool. And he sticks to kind of the Marvel cosmic books, Captain Marvel, Adam Warlock, all of these really awesome, crazy kind of psychedelic books of the time.
Yeah. Not based on Earth, right?
Right. They're all set out in the cosmos and stuff like that. One other thing I do want to point out is that if Gamora is the one who tells Iron Man about Thanos and everything, like you said, it's very fitting kind of in the MCU style for it to be more of her. She's also a character created by Jim Starlin.
Okay.
So it's all kind of in the family there.
There you go.
So, as he worked on all these other books and stuff like that, and he introduced Thanos to all these other cosmic entities and stuff and kind of wrapped everything into this Marvel cosmic universe, we're kind of seeing the same parallel kind of go down in the MCU right now, where they're getting more and more into the cosmic since the introduction of Thanos and then Guardians of the Galaxy and Doctor Strange, and now we see more and more of the universe. And we know that coming up soon, we got Captain Marvel popping off March 6, 2019. So that's
that's a lot sooner than I thought. I didn't think that movie was coming out until like 2021 or something.
Yeah, well, considering all of their stories together, I really wonder if the fourth Avengers film is going to feature a lot of Captain Marvel, because obviously Carol Danvers different than Captain Marvel, who was also an alien and stuff like that. But it's definitely the sort of thing that, to me, seems like the MCU would merge those characters together and give us sort of a unified Captain Marvel. What would you think of something like that?
Yeah, I think so. I know like Carol Danvers' character was kind of like based on Earth, right? Like when she first came. I think you're right that this is going to be more of like a prequel story. So, you ever see those things where like they kind of map out like how you should actually watch the Marvel movies?
Yes.
Like I have a feeling this one's going to be somewhere, like near like the first Avenger to now, like it's gonna, it might even predate, the first Avenger.
Yeah, well, I've seen some information saying that Captain Marvel will take place in the 90s.
Okay.
Right, and I know this because I follow Clark Gregg on Twitter. You guys know him as Agent Coulson out there. Check him out on Twitter. He seems like a super nice guy. But he actually tweeted some photos of him on the set of Captain Marvel because Coulson would have still been alive at the time.
Ah, very cool. Hey, real quick, just to take a quick break, I wanted to say Tom from the Daytona Beach Comic Con has just joined us in the comments.
Nice.
Man, thank you so much, Tom. We're going to be talking more about Daytona Beach Comic Con coming up in our next segment.
Absolutely. It's going to be just about 5 or 10 minutes, so hang out and enjoy some history on the Marvel Universe and Thanos and stuff like that, and then stay tuned for some awesome details about the excellent con we went to this weekend. So.
Absolutely.
All right, so moving on from here, we got to talk about Adam Warlock, man.
Yeah, this is definitely probably the biggest takeaways at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm. So at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, the golden space queen lady here, I'll tell you her name, it's like Aisha or something, you guys don't remember, but she says at the end of the movie that she's like, I'm going to create a protector for us so people don't steal from us again, and he can track down these people and all, and I will call him Adam. Right? And that's a direct reference to Adam Warlock, who actually first appears in a cocoon like this in an issue of the Fantastic Four.
Yes.
And
yes.
I mean, it's very, very similar. I should have snagged a photo of it, but it's very, very similar, right? It's like a rock cocoon. And this is obviously like metal and gold and kind of fits her thing. But as you saw from the photo I put up earlier, Adam Warlock is gold.
Yes. Yeah, there's a very cool connection here. And I think it is also going with the comics as well, right? Like Aisha was his curator from the comics, so it definitely it's all fitting together. So
yeah, and Adam Warlock and Captain Marvel definitely had a series of battles with Thanos over the years, so it's kind of my theory that the two of them will definitely be involved in taking down Thanos in the fourth part of Infinity War. I think he's still going to be standing at the end of this movie. What do you think?
Sure, yeah. I think it's going to take, I mean, I know we haven't known about Thanos for the full 10 years, but for at least like the last 8,
yeah.
Or I guess that's 6 or whatever, wherever we're at, like right in that, he's going to take more than one movie to take down, man.
No doubt.
Yeah, he's going to be that tough of a customer,
Yeah, well, one thing I've noticed is that Adam Warlock is a lot like the Vision, because Vision has the Mind Stone in his head, and it's kind of what brought him to life, so to speak, But Adam Warlock is very similar in the fact that when he was first created, he was given the Soul Gem.
Sure. Okay, I see where you're coming from. Yeah.
So if you're curious about the missing stone, we're going to talk more about all the Infinity Stones later, but it's definitely my theory that once Adam Warlock shows up in the MCU, he's going to have the missing stone. It started with him in the comics. There's no reason for it not to end with him in the MCU.
That makes sense.
And there also may be a thing where they use the Vision as a stead, where since it's kind of similar, they may kind of go with the Vision.
Yeah, they might not want to go too. So, yeah, I get what you're saying.
So maybe, but I don't know. He definitely has the Mind Stone, which is yellow, and Adam Warlock always had the orange Soul Stone, which is kind of gold, orange gold,
Sure. We'll have to see what happens on that front. Oh, there he is.
We'll have
There's
to
the guy.
see, And what's interesting is they keep putting out all of these, sorts of different artworks and stuff where they show the Infinity Gauntlet and they show the Yellowstone being the largest in the gauntlet, whereas the one that Vision has doesn't seem like the largest.
Sure.
It seems like it's the same size as the others, so I'm a little curious to see how that all plays out because traditionally the largest stone is the Soul Gem, and it controls the other 5 gems.
Okay.
So definitely Thanos getting his hands on whatever's going to be considered the Soul Gem is going to be a big boon for him and probably his ultimate goal. And what I love about it is that every clip that we see in the trailers and stuff like that always show Thanos missing a few stones.
Yeah.
He hasn't quite got them all yet. So
like you said, the whole war for the stones is going to probably, go past this movie. Now that brings up a good question of Ant-Man and Wasp and some of these other flicks that are coming out, before the next, Avengers movie, like how those kind of fit into the mix, but they could kind of take place a few months before. They've had no problems doing that, in the past.
Absolutely. Or they may coincide with it in some way, but just be in a different area or something, because I like the way, I don't believe Ant-Man was set in New York, right? Wasn't that over on the West Coast somewhere?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was, So, if all this is going down in New York and they're somewhere else, that might be okay. So I kind of love how they've spread out some of the heroes. I mean, originally Tony Stark was in L.A. too,
That's true.
So, and then he moved to New York and all that. So he's definitely going to be in New York dealing with all that. But it is cool to see the Ant-Man and the Wasp, who were original Avengers, like in the first issue, finally joining, the Avengers full force, hopefully in the 4th Avengers movie.
Absolutely, man. Well, that's been a great big history on Thanos, man, the Mad Titan. And yeah, man, we only have a couple more days to wait to see, Josh Brolin take on that role in its full, fledged. Because like you said, we've seen him talk and do minor things in the movies, but we're going to get to really see him in action come Friday. Yeah.
He's always got a great post-credit scene or something like that. I think was it Ultron, the one where he puts on the gauntlet?
Yeah. He's like, really cool. Now it's probably time for me to do it myself, which he was in wasn't he in the throne room at in Asgard? Like, wasn't that the trophy room?
Well, that one in the trophy room, Hela pushes over and it's like, it's fake.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. Because it had all the stones in it,
I think I know what I need to do before going to see Infinity War. I need to go back and watch the most recent ones.
I hear you.
And thank you, Rob B. He's in here. Yeah, he's saying it definitely confirmed that Ant-Man was in California. And I think he threw in a little bit about the Soul Gem there.
Yeah, he's asking about it coming from Black Panther. And yeah, from all accounts, the Soul Gem in comics originated from Adam Warlock. But there is a lot of fan theory about whether or not it will be something in Wakanda that came along with the vibranium thousands of years ago. There's also another fan theory about it being given to Heimdall. And that's what gives him his ability to see. And the fact that his eyes are golden and sort of orange kind of lends to that theory. But I really think that I'm putting my stamp on it. I'm thinking it's Adam Warlock. I think he's going to show up somewhere either in the 3rd movie or in Captain Marvel in between now and then, somewhere, or in the 4th movie itself. So
Absolutely. And well, really cool, man. I can't wait till Friday to find out what's really going down.
Absolutely, man. I can't wait. I know you guys can't wait. But we were so psyched, man, that we wanted to go and check out a totally awesome con just to get in the spirit and in the feel of comic books, man. And we have to say we couldn't have picked a better one to go to because, like, the Daytona Beach Comic Con, like, we walked in there and we were like, this con has a great energy. Like, people were so stoked to be there and having so much fun. So we want to share some of what we saw out there with you guys if you didn't catch some of our live stuff so that you can go back and check it out. So why don't we jump into the newsroom, man, and we'll talk all about it there.
Let's do it.
All right.
PoDunk News.
Oh, yeah, man. Like you were saying, El Bandito, man, like we had such a great time up there. And thanks again to Tom for inviting us up and letting us run around and have some fun there on the convention floor. It seemed like everybody was all about it and having a great time. You know, we caught a couple great interviews, got to talk to a bunch of awesome cosplayers, which, like, I have to say, man, over the past few years, like, I've just become, like, amazed with the amount of work that some of these guys put into their costumes. You know, these aren't things that you go and buy it. I think Joel Winecoop said best, you know, are you sure you didn't buy that one at Kmart, you know, before it went out of business? No, I mean, you could tell that these people that put their, you know, love into these costumes, man, and some of them are really fantastic.
Absolutely, and we're going to be posting up a slew of videos that we took out there because we only put some of them up on live. We're going to be doing that probably throughout the week, you know, starting tomorrow and stuff like that, because we took a lot of video of the costume contest to not only see the professional cosplayers who are actually there as judges, but then the participants of the costume contest, just your everyday average guy who built and put together amazing costumes. I mean, I know in our first live video, we happened to walk right into a group of guys and, you know, we asked them, we said, hey, you know, you guys want to jump on camera? And they were so enthusiastic. They were like, absolutely. And I knew that Rick Stafford, who was Aquaman, right, is like a pro cosplayer. I mean, his stuff's amazing. And he was with a great, fantastic Negan and a wonderful Ghost Rider, and they were like, absolutely, man, we'll jump on camera and say what's up. So thank you to those guys, man. That was so cool. But that was our first kind of, our interaction in the con, and it was so good, and everything else was so good. I mean, just a heartfelt thanks to everyone that we ran into and saw because they were so receptive and so warm, and the place was so great. Tom, we can't thank you enough, man, because we know it's because of an owner like you, an orchestrator like you, who makes that event fun and exciting for everyone to be there. Because we've both been to a con where a vendor's like, oh, God, I just got to be here. And I had to be here at 4:30 in the morning putting stuff, you know. And everyone here, man, from everyone selling, you know, the weirdest, most, you know, obtuse stuff, they were having a great time. They were talking to people. They were having fun. And I do want to take a minute to say, also, super thanks for just jacking the AC way down. It was so nice and cool in there.
You're absolutely right, El Bandito. I mean, not that was the first thing that we noticed when we walked in, but after about 5 minutes, we're like, man, like, you know, typically that, like, sweaty kind of you know, people in costume smell, but man, it was so comfortable in there, man, and it was just nice, man. Like I said, everybody we talked to from the vendors, you know, like I said, everyone seemed to really be enjoying themselves. They were happy to be there and really show off what they were trying to either sell or produce. You know, we talked to some comic book creators. We talked to one guy, he had an Amazing Fantasy 15, man, and it was beautiful, man. I think that's really the first time I've seen that in person.
Yeah. The first appearance of Spider-Man, Amazing Fantasy number 15. He had it in a glass case there under lock and key, which I don't blame him, because we asked him, we said, hey, what's this go for? You know, and he threw up a number, and we were like, wow, really, that's it? And he's like, no, add a 0 to the back of that. And that's what it is. So we were like, wow, okay, cool. You know, like the last time I think I priced that book was 25 years ago. You know, and it you know, since then, with his introduction in the MCU, with Homecoming being such a fantastic movie, just that resurgence of Spider-Man has gone up and up and up and up, and just, you know, that book's amazing. You know, it's the Eleanor, the unicorn. You know,
absolutely, man.
One day.
So much cool stuff, though, man.
But first and foremost, not to cut you off, but first and foremost, I gotta say, man, we were walking through the building, you know, and I thought he was talking to someone else. I didn't want to be rude and interrupt him. But, man, Joel Winecoop grabs us, man, starts giving us some hugs and saying, hey, man, I saw your show. I saw you give me a shout out a couple weeks back, man. And I'm super excited to, meet you guys. And we were just like, wow, that's so cool, man. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, Joel was so welcoming and so happy to see us. And yeah, dude, it was just so great, and absolutely, we're a big fan of all of his films, and it was just nice to get to sit there and chat with him for a few. And yeah, he was all about just kind of telling us what he's been through in his last 35 years in the industry.
Yeah, man, and just thanks again so much for taking the time to sit down with us, because he took a lot of time, a time out of his day to go ahead and have fun with us, man. It was pretty great. So thank you so much for that.
Oh, you know it, man. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. Just so cool.
So we also got a chance to talk to Dave and Jake.
Yeah. I'm sorry. From Space City Comics, man. Yeah, these guys, so much fun, man. And yeah, they actually have something really cool going on where they're going to be putting on they're filming a movie up in Melbourne, Florida.
Yep, that's right, guys. You heard it. They're doing it right up at the compound, which you guys know is kind of that great big huge, open air area. The perfect place to do exactly what they're doing. They're doing a independent film, a live action film based on a comic they create called Boca's. And it is going to need zombies. There are zombies in this movie, man, and they want you guys to come out there and to play zombies. You'll get a credit on an IMDb page. I mean, how cool is that? They said the event's going to be catered. They're going to have some food and water and stuff for everybody. They do want you to bring your own tattered up clothes.
Oh, yeah.
But they got some makeup people, so they're going to meet you halfway on that. You don't got to go nuts or anything. But it should be super fun. We're absolutely going to be there. That's going to be April 29th. That's this Sunday coming up. And you guys got to make it out there. I believe it's at noon, right? It starts at noon?
Yes, yeah, noon. And like you said, the compound, you can look it up on Google. You can actually find it as the compound, so you can get the direct. But also, if you look up Boca's event page, and if you go to Space City Comics, you can find it right there. They have it listed right where you guys can go and click that you're going and get all the information right from the source.
You know it, guys. So hopefully we'll see you guys there. They said they've got close to 100 people showing up, and they want more. So let's get out there. Let's spread some love, and let's see what's up.
Absolutely, man. Great guys.
And also big shout out to our Aquaman up there, Rick Stafford, who hung out with us. You guys can check out both our Joel Winecoop interview and this interview on our Facebook page right now. And like we said, we'll be putting it up on YouTube later this week. So
you know it, man.
All right. From there, here's some more great shots of Rick, man. Just amazing. This suit of armor that he built looks so good. You called it. What are you doing, DC? This is what's up.
Absolutely. What I loved is in our intro video, we were walking through, and he was wearing a more traditional, orange and green Aquaman costume. And then, later when we were doing the interview with the guys from Space City Comics, it was like Space Coast Comics. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, Space City Comics. They I seen him in that other costume. I'm like, is that the same dude? And you're like, oh yeah, absolutely, man. He's got the whole getup and the trident and everything, man. He was just so cool.
No doubt, man. So he was looking super legit, and we tried to get an interview with him, man. But boy, it's just the time flies when you're having so much fun in an awesome place like that. We're definitely gonna have to catch up with him in the future, find out where he's heading at later this year, so you guys can go and get a photo with him and check out the work that he does, because it's outstanding.
Oh yeah, very, very cool.
All right, we also met up with Rob Anderson, right? And I love that, Anderson with an I, He is the creator of this comic called Fetish Babies, and he works on the indieadvocates.com website, right?
Yes.
Now, the Indie Advocates is great. They promote a lot of independent artists and help them get their comic dreams brought to life, man. So indieadvocates.com. Guys, get over there, check it out. If you're a comics fan, that's why you're here tonight, to talk about Infinity War. So get out to Indie Advocates and check out some local guys right here in Florida and all around the country who are putting on their own books, man, and have their own stories to tell that are usually pretty freaking awesome, because Rob's was awesome. He makes this book called Fetish Babies that he kicked off Kickstarter, man, and he's, on and off of there on Kickstarter doing different projects that he's doing. So get over there and check him out. It's a book about a girl going through the like underground fetish, world in New York kind of a thing. So
absolutely, man. It's kind of
wild.
Yeah, it definitely kind of tells her story as she was she's always kind of had this urge to be a part of this community. But, being
I know this feeling.
I know that she was from a small town and her father was a politician, kind of kept her from really exploring that until she could get away. So very interesting subject material.
Yeah.
And don't get us wrong, guys. It's not like overly raunchy or anything like that. It's done in a very classy way. And it really made me feel like reminiscent to reading like something out of like heavy metal. Like I know that probably doesn't lend to like being like, hey, it's not super raunchy, but no, it's very well written and it's got amazing artwork. So definitely check it out.
Yeah, fantastic artwork. He says he's got a collaboration of international artists working on the book with him, and it's really, really interestingly told. We won't spoil too much about it. You can check out. We have a 2-part interview with him on Facebook Live. I'll try to mash it together and put it as one big video on YouTube for all you beautiful people out there. But thank you, Rob, for spending time with us. And last but not least, we wanted to mention the gourmet chocolatier.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I know you had a lot of fun with these very sweet ladies. I think I put that earlier in on Facebook. Like they were just so nice and so cool to like kind of have a great interview with us. And like I said, I think that tasty chocolate awoken something deep that we haven't seen in quite some time.
That's right, guys. We had a woken Bandito on site out there at the Daytona Beach Comic Con, man. And I was so excited, but I grew up down south. I think I kept trying to say Deltona the whole time I'm doing the interview. But these ladies were so great and they were so much fun. And, they were just making me crack up. I wasn't even thinking straight. So it was awesome. It's a great interview. That's over on our Facebook Live. But also check out their Facebook page. We liked it already, man.
Oh, yeah.
You guys got to go check it out. They make these custom chocolates. They're imported Belgian chocolates. It's fantastic. It tasted fantastic. You'll see my reaction eating one live there at the event on the video that we took. But the artistry of them is phenomenal. Like she has Xbox controllers and PlayStation controllers that are full-sized, and they look exactly like a real controller. They have all of these Spider-Mans and all the Avengers and stuff. Just really, really cool stuff. Check out their Facebook page. Check out their website, man. Show them some love and tell them the Power Hour sent you.
Oh, yeah. One thing I really like to say said, if you can think it, they can make it. So
exactly.
Even for you, heavy metal reading, dirty-minded baby fetish.
Yeah, because I gave her a look and she said exactly what I was thinking, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna need some chocolates like that." And she's like, "We can even put liquor in them," and I'm like, "Dude, that's the best. That's the best."
I mean, it's a good thing we didn't stop by their booth earlier in the day because I have a feeling it would have been hard to pull you away from the chocolatiers.
I know we were having so much fun at the event. And we didn't even stop to eat lunch. We were just running around, meeting with everybody, having such a good time. And then all of a sudden, I was like, hey, I'm going to try this candy live on the I was like, oh my God, this candy is terrific. And we started getting a whole bunch more. They actually gave us a free sample and stuff.
Like I said, they were so nice.
Some free stuff. Yeah, it was so nice. And it was fantastic. It was all we had to eat that day. It was so good, and so nourishing. It was just fantastic. So.
And like you said, man, we were just having such a good time that it was just boom, boom, boom. Yeah. It was like, I don't think I've been to an event where time has passed so quickly, but we were having such a great time and capturing such great moments. And thanks again to Andrea and Kim from the Gourmet Chocolatiers for making it so much better too with the tasty chocolates.
Yeah, and Senor Bull had the best idea yet. He was like, if they make them with liquor in them, we got to get some that are shaped totally inappropriately and make Mr. Fusion eat them here on the show.
Oh, yeah.
So look out for that in the future, man. That'll be a ton of fun. So thank you, ladies, so much. That video is on Facebook Live. I know they were thrilled to see that it was live, but we'll also get it up on YouTube. I'll make sure to send it your way.
Oh,
and, we'll throw some links up to it so everybody can check it out because it's super fun. These ladies are so great. And last but not least, we did want to mention that we met the Wolverine.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Matthew Kress, man, he gave us a great shout-out, and he liked our page and stuff after we did an interview with him that, again, we're going to put up later this week on YouTube. So just super cool guy, amazing, amazing cinema quality costume that he had, and he looks exactly the part. He has some YouTube videos up of him dressed up, meeting Stan Lee himself and getting an autograph from him, so super cool. Really cool guy, had a cool character and everything. It was just a lot of fun. So thanks for hanging out with us and for doing an interview with us, Matt. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. I think at first he was kind of like, man, what am I getting into with these guys? But once we got into the interview and stuff like that, like you said, man, he was right along for the ride, and we were having a great time. So, yeah, thanks a lot, buddy.
You know it. And thanks to everyone that we ran into out there. You know, like we said, we didn't get time to see everyone that we wanted to see, or to get to do an interview with everyone who was so excited to be like, hey man, you guys want to come do an interview with us? And we're like, yeah man, that'd be awesome, you know. But we had the limitations of, you know, the world, you know.
Oh,
time.
absolutely.
What can you do? We needed the Eye of Agamotto that houses the time stone to turn the clock back and do a couple more interviews. But we did want to take a minute to do some special shout outs to a couple of guys that we really, really, really wanted to take a few minutes with and just absolutely ran out of time. But we're going to get in touch with them and hopefully bring you some of what's going on with them in the future. First up, let me see here. We got Roland Mann.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Super awesome guy, the creator of Cat and Mouse, the comic book that you've heard of because it's out there, and it's the book that isn't really a superhero book. So you'll see it on a lot of websites and a lot of lists of like, hey, if you like comics but, you know, aren't into superheroes, this is a book that really is pretty wicked and pretty awesome, and you got to check it out. So we definitely ran into him. We talked to him for a little bit, and he was telling us about everything that was going on with that. So thank you so much for that, Roland. We're going to try to touch base with you so we can let all these beautiful people out here know just what you've got cooking out there, buddy.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah, Roland was a real nice guy, man. You were chatting with him kind of like the last few minutes before we had to head back home, man. But, yeah, really knowledgeable guy, man. Like I said, I hope we can really catch up with him real soon.
No doubt. All right. Also, John Cruther, man. He's the artist. He's the creator of Rochelle, right? Who's a teenage superhero who, you know, is actually pretty awesome. You know, like there at the time when he created the book, there wasn't a lot of teenage superheroes and stuff for girls to read. So he said he kind of modeled it after his daughter and her friends and stuff like that, and he wanted it to be like not Supergirl in a skimpy thing all the time. You know, he wanted it to be a normal girl, kind of the Peter Parker experience, you know. And you know, we got a chance to grab some of those books from him. He autographed them for us. Thank you so much for that. So we definitely want to catch up with him and talk to him in the future too. But thanks for taking the time to share some of your insight with us, man. And we'll definitely be getting in touch with you soon as well.
Oh, absolutely, man. And another thing, of course, is that, you know, he does a collection of books based on classic pro wrestlers. You know, yes. He was there actually with the man, the myth, the legend, Rocky Johnson, and you know he's done a bunch of books. You know, one on Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Nikolai Volkov, the Killer Bees. You know, sorry, had to get it out there.
No, it's all good.
But yeah, no, definitely lots of cool stuff, and just reading about those, you know, it's like all those classic, you know, travel stories put into a comic, which I think is really cool. So
no doubt,
definitely got to check those out too.
Yeah, and I hear they're really good, so we'll definitely have to check them out. And last but not least, Lance Footer. Man, he's from Low Vision Studios out there, and this is some of his artwork. We wanted to include some of his artwork with a photo of him because he's legally blind, and this is kind of the artwork that he's creating. So obviously an incredibly talented individual who is just super cool, and we'd love to touch base with him in the future and kind of talk to him about what he's got going on, what it's like in his journey and his life, and how he can create such amazing work, man, because it is really epic. So, Lance, we're sorry we didn't get a chance to talk to you more at the event, but we're definitely going to touch base with you and hopefully be able to talk to you in the future and let everyone know where they can find you and some of your art.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's probably going to wrap it up for our Daytona Beach Comic Con experience. So what do you say we jump back into the studio and finish up with some results from our poll that we got at the Daytona Beach Comic Con. That's right. We talked to a couple of people on site, on location, got them on video, telling us who their favorite Avenger was. And we're going to add them to our poll right now. What do you think?
Let's do it.
All right. All right, guys, we're back, man. Sorry about that. We've got some wicked weather happening around the studio here, man. We got thunderbolts and lightning. Thor himself must be out there wrecking shop, getting ready for Thanos, man, because just our internet connection is getting hammered.
I don't know if it's Thor or if it's Loki being a trickster on us. You know,
yeah,
we're
maybe
to share all this cool stuff tonight. But man, you know what? We're back. You know, sometimes that's the one thing about doing a live show. You just never know what can happen. But we're kicking again, man. So definitely let's ramble on.
No doubt, guys. All right. And we're going to put all this together and we'll put it on YouTube. So it'll be like one nice little big package for you guys tomorrow. And then we'll upload it there so you can check out everything in one big hit. But otherwise, we were just getting back into the studio because we wanted to talk about, while we were at the Daytona Beach Comic Con, right? We found some actual Avengers there, and we wanted to talk to them about who they thought the best Avenger was. Because, for the past few weeks, man, we've been putting on, it's been the past few months, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We've been rocking.
I think we started this in January.
Yes.
But we've been having this ongoing poll, man. We've got over 600 people who contributed to this poll. It's pretty sick. And we have asked who everyone's favorite Avenger is. Right now we're talking the original 6 from the 2012 movie. Who was everyone's favorite? You got Captain America, Iron Man, you got Hawkeye, you got Black Widow, you got Thor, and you got the Hulk to choose from, man. So it was really cool to see just what people were picking out there as far as who they thought their favorite Avenger is. So
you know it, man. So like you said, while we were at the con, man, we actually got to collect some pretty cool video, right?
Yeah, we absolutely did. So we got some clips here of the people voting, and I'm going to pull them up here in just 2 seconds. Let's see. Yeah, everything getting turned around now. Screwed up everything.
Hey, it's all right, man. Hey, like we said, that's the whole thing of doing a show live, man. Anything can happen. But hey, we're happy that you guys are here with us and rocking and rolling. And yeah, we're gonna get started.
All right, let's do it. Let's start off with checking out this group of Avengers here who were hanging out with the one and only Bucky Barnes.
And we've got a couple of Avengers with us right here, and they're going to tell us who their favorite Avenger is. All right, so here we got Bucky Barnes. Definitely. How you doing today, Bucky?
All right, I'm all right.
Awesome. Why don't you let us know, Bucky, who is your favorite Avenger?
Well, I think Steve wants me to say him, but
A little bit.
I think I'm a little partial for Natasha. So.
Oh, for Natasha. All right. We got for the Black Widow. Oh, man. Well, definitely move on. Thank you so much, Bucky. We have Steve Rogers himself, Captain America. Cap, you're definitely one of my favorites, but who's your favorite?
I gotta say, I'm my favorite too.
There you go. There you go. It's always okay to be a fan of oneself. And thank you, Cap, for your service and all you do for the Avengers. Can't wait to see the new flick. Oh, Black Widow, definitely. We got to say, who is your favorite Avenger?
I actually gotta go with Cap here.
Oh, definitely. There we go. We got 2 for Cap and 1 for Black Widow. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Awesome costumes and definitely having a great time here at the Daytona Beach Comic Con.
What? All right, man. So we got 2 votes for Captain America right there. We got 1 vote for Natasha, the Black Widow herself, man. Now, I got to say, Black Widow has been doing great in the poll so far. It was kind of like I was worried that she wouldn't really get a lot of votes and stuff, as you got so many great Avengers to choose from. But we did open the poll and make it available for anyone to kind of double tap it. If you wanted to put on a different day that you wanted to vote for someone else, you totally could. So it was really great, to see.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone kind of giving all the Avengers some love. It was a super ton of fun. But what we're doing is we're adding those scores and all the scores we got in the poll to our initial ratings of each Avenger. And we'll give you some of the standings right now. So Captain America was sitting pretty at a 51. Iron Man was in the lead at 53. Thor tied Cap at 51. Hulk was in there with 52, cutting off Cap and Thor. Hawkeye came in with 41, so a little low for Hawkeye there. But the Black Widow was hanging in with 45, right? So we're going to bump that up to 46 for Black Widow. Cap's going up to 53, and he's tying the lead with the invincible Iron Man.
Oh, absolutely, man. No, definitely. It's a close race.
All right, so let's see who's up next. I think we've got an interview with one other Avenger here that we're going to check out. What do you think of this guy?
Let's see it. Well, we got to ask you, Hulk, who is your favorite Avenger?
Hulk is the best Avenger. Hulk is the only Avenger. Hulk is the strongest Avenger. Hulk is my favorite Avenger.
Well, definitely. Talk about capturing the spirit of the Incredible Hulk, like I think that's got it right there.
And going full gorilla with the face paint and like the one-piece bodysuit that he has and like no pockets or anything. And this guy was all over it. I was just hulking it up. So super great to meet the Hulk out there. And his vote getting added to the Hulk's 52 gives him a 53. So now we've got a 3-way tie between Captain America, Iron Man, and the Hulk.
Definitely, man. So, it is, like I said, it's getting down to the wire here.
Yeah, and I mean, we're still going to add the poll results to these, but so far, man, we got a 3-way tie, which is pretty exciting. But we asked a couple of other people. One group of ladies I know I had to ask the Gourmet Chocolatiers what they thought their favorite Avenger was, so let's check it out.
Oh, yeah.
So, now, let me ask you ladies, right? You guys are familiar with the Avengers, right? Yep. Okay, we're doing a poll on our show, right? Don't look at me like that. It's not that kind of poll. We're doing a poll on our show about who the greatest and the most favorite of the original Avengers are. Now, they're on my shirt here, right? So you can see those are the original 6 Avengers. Now, you guys are advertising your thing on your shirts, which I like very much. So we all got a good look at each other's shirts now. And I want to ask you, ladies, who is your favorite out of the original 6 Avengers?
Iron Man.
Iron Man?
Absolutely.
That's no hesitation at all. She said Iron Man.
Who's the girl?
Black Widow.
Oh, well, then her. Girl power, man.
Black
all the
Widow,
way.
girl power. All right. So we got 2 votes in there. All right, girl powers, what's up, man? Taking Natasha up to 47, man. So really, really getting her up there for the normal human of the group, man. For one of the 2 norms, man. She's really kicking some butt right there.
Oh, yeah, definitely sticking it in there.
But that is putting Iron Man with Kim's vote right there up to 54, putting Iron Man back in the lead.
Man, oh man, what's going to happen next?
All right, well, we've got one more interview we did on site, and we did it with what I expect to be a soon-to-be Avenger right here. We've got the Wolverine.
Oh, well, let's see it.
So we had to ask you, man, what would you say, who would you say is your favorite Avenger?
I'd have to say my favorite Avenger, honestly,
I know it's really hard to pick. There's just so many great ones.
Honestly, Hawkeye.
Hawkeye, awesome. That's actually our first vote for Hawkeye today.
Nice.
Man, I gotta tell you, I just hit him on the shoulder and I felt that anime feeling there. It kind of hurt my hand a little bit.
Are you okay, though? You didn't get too hurt there?
I know, I didn't have to go in and get that one checked out. Maybe I got myself a little bit of superhuman healing, too.
It was funny. So many people at the con were telling us, they were like, man, that Wolverine guy looks so great. He looks so great. And I told him, I said, you know, when we got done talking with him, I definitely was like, hey, man, well, it was good talking to you, you know? Because I was like, that looks like one of those really thick padded suits. That's like all him, dude. That guy was a beefcake down there. I was like, whoa, man.
Absolutely, man. Such a nice dude, too. Like, it definitely had a lot of fun. As I think we're going to put that full interview up there on YouTube so everyone can check it out.
Yep. That'll be coming soon, man. But that is going to bump Hawkeye up to 42, man. So Hawkeye hanging in there, man. The other Norm just following in the footsteps of Natasha just like he did in the original comic. If you're wondering what I mean, check out the rest of our Infinity War countdown, and you'll find some history on the Black Widow and Hawkeye and just how intertwined their stories really are.
Absolutely, man. So, I mean, this is getting really close, man. But didn't we also have we had our polls that were open? Yep. We had people voting on previous shows. So what's going down?
We did. Well, you know, calculating everything together, man, we decided to do it by percents. It'd be a little bit easier, you know. So what we ended up with, I'm sorry, no, we didn't do percents. Those aren't percents. That's the number 1 because these are like 100 and something votes.
Absolutely.
I got to make these things bigger for me to read, don't I? All right. So coming in at number 6, right, with 153 votes, Hawkeye.
Oh, man, that's awesome. So definitely Hawkeye's, you know, he's at the bottom rung, but he's still got a lot of votes there.
Yeah, that's still a surprising amount of votes. You know, like, not that I have anything against Hawkeye, but, you know, I just really thought a lot of people would only be like, oh, I want to pick out of the 6, so I'm going to go for kind of the big 3 deal. But they didn't. They spread their love all around, man, and it was freaking awesome. But beating him out by a single point at 154 is the Black Widow.
Oh man, look at that! So Natasha still got one up over Hawkeye there.
Yep, she still got one over on him, man. But just like the comics say, man, he'll follow her to the ends of the earth either way. So it's
there
fine.
you go.
But she must have got that extra point in Budapest. That's what I think. All right, so coming in at number 4 with 162 votes. Messing up our podcast tonight, the mighty Thor.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, what are you doing up there, Thor? Come on. Jeez. I think he broke the internet.
Well, not too far behind. Someone who's definitely doing some damage and breaking some stuff out in the world today out there. We've got the Incredible Hulk, man, at 166.
Man, Hulk smash, man, like you said. So Hulk wasn't the number 1. I wonder who was.
We're getting down, man. We got the final 2. You want to do first runner-up, or you just want to do number 1?
Let's just hit it, man.
Let's just do number 1?
Yeah,
All
let's
right.
just do it.
All right, let's see.
So we got Civil War up in this.
We do. That's a good point. I didn't even think of that. But yeah, man, we've got the invincible Iron Man, Tony Stark, going up against Steve Rogers, the all-American hero, Captain America, man. And we got to ask, who took it home? Who took it home?
Let's see. Some extra anticipation.
Captain America with 179 votes beat 9 votes out of the invincible Iron Man to be our favorite Avenger, man. He was my favorite Avenger from the begin with. He was the person we started off the countdown with, man. And I'm so glad that, when he first came out, man, when the Avengers first came out, I know there was a lot of people that was like, oh, Captain America, he's kind of your least favorite Avenger. I think that's actually on the Honest Trailers thing, is that his name is everyone's least favorite Avenger, and he proved tonight that he is all of our favorites Avenger. I think the Winter Soldier and Captain America Civil War really pushed him into that next level where people really loved the character and everything that he brought to the table. What do you think about him being the Power Hour's official favorite Avenger?
Well, like we said, even when we did our review with him, he was the first one, first Avenger.
The first Avenger, yeah.
I can't think of a lot of people that don't like Cap. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of one of those things. I mean, he definitely wasn't who I labeled as my favorite. That went to the Hulk. But definitely he's one of my favorites, so I'm happy to see him take the lead. So absolutely, man. Well, definitely congratulations to Steve Rogers.
No doubt, man. And thank you to everyone who participated in our poll, man. It was so exciting and so fun. We know we're definitely going to try to throw up something else together because the interaction with all you beautiful people out there is what we absolutely love. So thank you guys so much for just engaging with us and having a good time, man, because that's what it's all about, right?
You know it, man. Definitely, yeah. Lots of fun, lots of cool. Like I said, the reaction, what was great, and then of course before finally totaling all this up, getting to go out there to the Daytona Beach Comic Con and hear some people on the streets votes too that actually factored in. I think that just brought that extra level of coolness to this contest.
No doubt, no doubt. It was just all around just super fun, super cool, getting to meet so many people, interact with so many people, and hear so many different opinions. Because most of those interviews we did, were very short, but we talked to everyone about why they thought that was their favorite Avenger and everything. So it was really cool and a great experience to hear all the different insights on all the different Avengers. But I have to ask, leading into Infinity War coming up in, 4 days now, right?
Yep.
What do you think the outcome looks like for Captain America? I mean, we obviously got the great shot of him holding on to Thanos' gauntlet, the Infinity Gauntlet itself, trying to hold it up all by himself. What do you think is going down in Cap's head?
Yeah, definitely. I think the whole thing with Tony kind of happens before that, and who knows if he makes it out still breathing or not. I have a feeling Tony will be okay. But yeah, I would say probably most likely to get wrecked, I think we might see the fall of the Captain.
Yeah, it's a good possibility.
Because, he's kind of been criminalized, but then it seems like with this, he's going to be leading the charge. And I think to really demonize Thanos, he's got to take somebody out that everybody's kind of gunning for. Even if he's not your favorite, like we said, I don't know a lot of people who say, I hate Captain America. I mean, I'm sure there's somewhere else in the world or something people might, but it's I just think that would be so crushing, for him to kind of come back after being either if he's going to be Nomad or the captain or whatever he's going to be, they're pretty much going to follow his lead like you see him running. And I just have a feeling that Cap might not make it out of this one as well as everybody else.
No doubt, man. Like I love Captain America, man. I loved him in the comics. I think his portrayal in the movies have been fantastic. I think Chris Evans is phenomenal. I'd love to see the torch get passed to maybe Bucky or something like that to pick it up. Sebastian Stan seems excellent in these films as well. But I know that for me personally, what I would love to see would be to the movie to end on kind of a cliffhanger, not like a death, but a cliffhanger where we can see Cap with his shield one last time in the fourth movie. And if he gets taken out in the fourth movie, that's, it is what it is. But that's personally what I'd love to see. Do I think that's going to happen? No. I think you're absolutely right. I think this movie is going to probably end with him getting crushed under the weight of that gauntlet. But, hey, man, we've all been pleasantly surprised by these movies before. Maybe, Tony gets him that shield back a little sooner. I don't know. I'd love to see him with the shield one last time. So...
Absolutely, man. Well, we'll just have to see. Like you said, we don't have too long to wait. By next week, we won't throw up any spoilers or anything, but we'll at least know what went down.
Well, there's definitely a lot of speculation, too, about Iron Man on the movie poster, that he's kind of doing this, like, sort of Jesus pose, like he has his arms out, almost as though he's going to be a martyr. Like he's going to lay down to give everyone else time to regroup or something like that. I mean, obviously, we don't know that that's him in the Hulkbuster suit.
Sure,
that could be Rhodey,
Yeah,
although
that's
there's a Rhodey flying around, but still, you know what I mean? It could be someone else. Could be Pepper. Who knows? Could be Happy Hogan. Get some Jon Favreau in there, Hulkbusting. But he definitely looks like he's getting jacked up hardcore when we see his one suit almost completely torn in half. Thanos just pummeling him, stuff like that. So, yeah, I think the outlook is grim for both of these guys. And, that's a little scary. They're kind of the forefront of the MCU. A lot of people refer to, RDJ, Robert Downey Jr., as the godfather of the Marvel Universe there, keeping everything together. But things are a little cloudy even for Thor. I mean...
Oh, yeah.
Well, he really took off in Ragnarok and, developed some new abilities, really came into his own as far as being super powerful, almost defeated the Hulk. I don't know if you want to say he defeated the Hulk, but...
Yeah.
But him and Loki's situation, and Thanos is literally holding Thor by the head and he's bleeding and stuff. I'm like, that doesn't look great for Thor, man. What do you think about Thor's chances of coming out of the movie?
It's that I know it's scene you're talking about, and that could be later in the film or something. But I know at some point he must get separated from Loki because it seems like he meets up with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
So, I'm thinking he might. He's not going to probably, crash maybe as soon as Loki might go down. Don't kill me, Kelly Jade. Just saying.
Well, James Anthony, tell us your theory in the comments, and we'd love to hear it. What do you think of Loki then? You think Loki's definitely getting axed?
I think so. I mean, people have...
Do you think he's going to be that first 10 minutes...
Yeah,
getting whacked. Yeah. Oh man,
I think he's going to drop pretty fast. I mean, who knows? Maybe he'll turn against Thanos.
Yeah.
Or maybe he'll try to be like, look what I brought you, and try to like.
Yeah, he's obviously gives him the Tesseract because he has it, and then Thanos has it, so he gets it.
So I think he's going to try to win back in his good graces.
Yeah.
And then Thanos is just going to.
Let me run two scenarios past you that might be pretty cool. My first thought is that Loki gets taken prisoner, because he's still worthwhile to them. He's kind of been brainwashed maybe a little bit by Thanos. Can he take him and kidnap him and kind of give Thor and the Guardians a motivation to go after Thanos' home base kind of a thing?
That's true.
That might be interesting. The other theory that I have is, did Loki, does he buy Thor's life with the Tesseract? Does he tell Thanos, I'll give it to you, just let my brother live, and then he bites the bullet for Thor, like really being a martyr,
Yeah, it could be.
Finally getting some redemption, some
not
heroism out of the God of Mischief there.
Not to be sitting there trying to pick each trailer apart. We just see Loki. Anytime we see Loki in the trailer, it seems to be in like one area, and you don't see him like running in the Wakanda field. So like I said, I still think he's definitely gonna bite the big one. But you're right.
That's what lends to me the kind of maybe Thor is with the Guardians going to try to get Loki, because maybe he's on Thanos' ship or something like that. I don't know. It's just a thought. So all right. So James Anthony says he thinks the torch gets passed to Falcon, right, and that Bucky will take up the mantle of the White Wolf alongside Black Panther. he also says that he thinks Captain Marvel will show up at the end of the movie. I 100% agree with that. I think Captain Marvel will show up, and that'll be kind of the end of the film, or maybe the post-credit scene of like, all right, now I'm here, I'm going to whip some ass kind of a thing, which would really set up the character for something great.
And her own movie, definitely.
Yes.
So yeah, that's a pretty cool theory.
Yeah, I just hope it doesn't end up all Wonder Woman-y, where it's like, oh, I'm just here.
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason, no build up to that.
Sure. Now they've done pretty good with this so far, so I think they've got a big drop, Yeah. Now let's ask real quick. Anybody have any feeling that Deadpool or any of the X-Men might actually pop up at some point?
Yeah,
with a little cameo.
Let us know in the comments what you think about the X-Men now joining the MCU, or maybe even a really crazy Fantastic Four reference. Who knows? But I'll put in my 2 cents on that. Right? What I think would be great was that Hela makes a return. She called herself the Goddess of Death and stuff like that. I think she'd be a great replacement for the female embodiment of death that Thanos normally courts, which again is the callback to the line at the beginning of the show that we said when Thanos first appears. The intermediary tells him to continue to attack Earth is courting death herself, right? So to them, they already envision death as a female person, as a female being, right? If it's in fact Hela, or the Goddess of Death, whichever they care to go with, then it gives her reason to be in the movie, because she may have escaped death at the end of Ragnarok,
Yeah, that's true.
And if she did, and Thanos is trying to save her or impress her by killing as many people as possible, like Gamora says in the trailer, all he's ever wanted to do is kill half the universe, that's to court death. He's trying to get death to notice him and say, I like you. And it goes back to the Freudian theory of Thanatos and stuff like that, people's fascination with death and everything like that, being Thanos' overbearing sort of quest to kill and to murder and to conquer just to impress death. Now, the interesting thing with that is that in the original comics, death had like a major hard-on for Deadpool, because Deadpool was unkillable, which she found fascinating as shit, and he was a freaking murder machine and really funny. Chicks dig funny guys. So there were some reshoots that they did for Deadpool in Atlanta at the same time that they were shooting some Infinity War stuff and all that. Probably because Josh Brolin was hanging around,
Sure.
But there's a lot of play that they could have snuck, Deadpool in somewhere and had an appearance with Kate Blanchett. So
yeah, no, absolutely, man. That would be kind of cool. Like, so I think that would almost have to be like a post credits kind of deal, like to kind of throw that right in the middle of like, whoo, that would definitely be some really, really wild stuff. But who knows, man? But we only got a couple days to find out, and hopefully everyone's got their tickets early, man, because I know they've been saying the theaters have been selling out. Even with this past weekend, I guess Super Troopers 2 was selling out theaters all over.
Oh, man. I didn't realize that came out. I got to go check that out.
There you go. Well, they were saying if you don't have tickets yet for Infinity War, you might be risking it just showing up, which I'm kind of in that role. I haven't picked which day I'm going to go yet, so we'll see. Hopefully I'll be able to make it to a showing sometime this weekend.
I went total fanboy. I got the Thursday night 7 p.m. tickets. It's like the first available showing in my area.
If there's anything that's going to get revealed, I'm going to make sure someone doesn't spoil that shit.
Yeah. I'm going to be waiting in the theater like la 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 till the freaking movie comes up. But do we got some time to talk about Infinity Stones, or are we running over?
I think we probably should call it.
We're running over? All right. Yeah. Well, no worries, guys. We'll have to hit you up with some theories about the Infinity Stones, where they're at and what they're doing another time. But, man, we're so psyched for this movie to come out. We're so psyched for our Avenger poll, man, for Captain America to be our new favorite Avenger for the rest of the year here at the Power Hour Love, man. We're super psyched. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. We hope you had some fun hearing about the Daytona Comic Con. We hope we catch you at the next Daytona Beach Comic Con, which is going to be later this year. And, man, we hope that you guys enjoy Avengers Infinity War as much as we've enjoyed the road leading up to it, man.
Oh, yeah, man. Like you said, it's very exciting times, man. And it's a good time to be a comic book fan. There's tons of great stuff coming out this summer. And yeah, as we continue on, I'm sure we'll be talking about all sorts of great stuff, movies and stuff that we love to kind of go over all of them. But yeah, man, just if we're going to talk about next week, man, we know we got the Greatest Royal Rumble coming up from the WWE, so I'm sure we'll be touching on that next Monday, since it'll be the following night. We'll see what we thought were our best and favorite matches. And like I said, maybe we'll even jump into some other movies that are coming out over the upcoming summer.
Absolutely, guys. All right. Well, we're going to have plenty of hot action here at the Power Hour Love, man. So join us every Monday night at 9 p.m. or subscribe to our YouTube channel. Actually, do both. Why not? It's free. It don't cost you nothing. You'll get all the latest updates of all the coolest videos and inside stuff we have both on Facebook and on YouTube and everywhere else, man. We'd love to get in touch with all you beautiful people. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We hope you guys had fun, learned a little something about Thanos, and are all set to go check out the movie this weekend because we'll see you there.
Yeah.